YouTube, is your boy King Pookie coming in the house with the breakdown of the Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 16. As if you haven't seen the episode, I recommend you to watch it before you watch this video. So okay, so then the Boba Fett and Mandalorian, you know how they left, they got the codes to get onto Moff Gideon's um light cruiser ship. So um they were in a fight scene with flying, and you see a ship, the same ship from, like, remember in Return of the Jedi when Darth Vader, um and the Emperor were, like, were in the transporter ship, and they were coming down and that stuff. Remember that from? Well, it was the same ship, and and it was the doctor, the doctor, the clone doctor, and then these two pilots of the crew, ship. So then Boba Fett, was following them, and he's like, shooting at them and that stuff. And then they like the the doctor says, "What's going on?" Like, and then he goes, the dude pilot says, "This is not your testing facility, so just shut up." So then later on, then Boba Fett, he shoots the ship, and he shoots the can, like, these remember the can, remember when they stunned Yoda, when the stormtrooper shot Yoda, baby Yoda, and just stunned it. Well, the same thing, they just stunned the ship and just disabled all the equipment. Now, and then you hear Boba Fett said that be prepared, that we're going to board onto the ship. So, and then they said, the two pilots said, like, "Oh, do you think, the doctor says, do you think these are pirates and that stuff?" And then the two pilots said, "Oh, I didn't ask for a death wish and that stuff." So then you see like when Boba Fett attached to the ship and docks. So then you see Mando, Peril, Khondun, Phoenix. They come into the ship, and they're going to hijack the ship and take the doctor and stuff. And then the two pilot guys, they're like, "Oh, I'm not with him." But then one of the pilots takes the doctor and says, "You know who this guy is?" He goes, "Yeah, I know who he is." And he says he's an Imperial doctor, like cloning doctor, and that if he kills the doctor, then the Empire would know, and then they would come after you. So but he goes, then he sees then the guy sees Cara Dune's, like, tear up in her, like in her eye, and he says, "Oh, it felt good. I saw your planet being destroyed." And he was talking about, when he was like, he saw the Death Star destroy the planet of Alderaan, and he was on the Death Star when it happened. And so then he goes, "I had enjoyment that killing off the people, because he killed a lot of stormtroopers. The, I guess, the rebels." And so then Cara Dune, how she's a great sharpshooter, and that stuff. She shoots the guy straight in the eye or something like that, and it grazes the doctor, because you see the doctor going, my ear. And so, but yeah. So then we see them, like, then we go to the scene where Boba Fett and Mando were on the slave one ship, and they went to this one planet what we never seen before, and they landed on that planet. It was like a mining planet, miners, and they were going to ask. They see Bo Katan and her sidekick, just eating and drinking, at the bar, at the cantina. And he goes, ask her, hey, I need your help, and she goes, us Mandalorians are all not bounty hunters, So then he goes, yeah, and then Bubba Fett is, yeah, let's get out of here and that stuff. He goes, and then you hear, Bo-Katan says to Bubba Fett, you're not a pure Mandalorian. To Bubba Fett, he says, you're not a Mandalorian. And he goes, yeah, and then Boba Fett says, I never said I was. And so, and then like, Bo-Katan says, that you're a disgrace to the armor because of the Mandalorians. He goes, and he goes, and then Jango, and then Boba Fett says, this armor is my father's armor. And then Bo-Katan says, it's your donor's, um, donor's armor and stuff. And then, so then he was starting, he got argument with the Bo-Katan psychic, and she goes, oh, I know that psychic kicks could talk. And then like, and he says, you're a clone. I know, I heard your voice so many times. So then like he gets in a fight with Bo-Katan's like psychic kick, and they get in a fight and that stuff. So then Bo-Katan says like, stop, and if you had the same kind of anger, maybe we would have saved Mandalorian. And so so and then so then she goes that she wants Moff Gideon. He has something that she wants. She wants the black saber. So then they go onto the ship, because they're gonna plan out how they're gonna attack and how they're gonna get into the cruiser ship. So then, yeah, the doctor said that there's these dark troopers that are in on the ship, and they're like charged on batteries and that stuff. So when they're not being used, they're charging up and that stuff, and it doesn't take them well. So um then he goes, then the doctor shows Mando where Baby Yoda is being held, and he's being held. Some two stormtroopers are like right in front of the door watching it. So then yeah, they decide what they're gonna do, and what Mando's is like, I'm gonna like a fight on my own, and because Bo-Katan says we're just split up in twos, and then Mando says, I'm gonna go by myself, and that stuff. So then this is what the plan is. They're gonna disguise. They're gonna fly on that ship, the Imperial ship. Bo-Katan and his sidekick and Mando and Cara Dune and the Phoenix were all on the ship. And Boba Fett, he was in the slave ship in the back, and so then they're they're going into the light speed, like hyperspeed and stuff. So then and then they finally get out of there, and so then Boba Fett shooting at the at their ship, and Bo-Katan says distress signal and saying, "Hey, we need help," saying to the ship, "We need some help." Yeah, that we need to dock, to let them dock into the bait, to the cruiser ship, because they're getting shooting. So then the commander, she's hey, go to this, doorway, and it was like they wanted to get into the front door, of the, to land in there and to get inside. So then so then Moff Gideon releases like these TIE fighters, to attack to attack the slave one, and the ship, so that the ship could land on there, and then the ship keeps coming straight, and she just, disregards whatever the commander says. And then you hear the commander say, "I told you not to go into the main, the front of the door, because the Tie fighters are coming out of there, because it's like a launching point for them to come in there." So then the ship, you know lands onto the and there, and you see, but slave one disappears, like from the he goes into hyperspeed or something like that, and he disappears and that stuff. So they're on the ship, and then you hear the stormtrooper saying, "What are you doing? Get this thing out of here!" And then you see Bo-Katan and her friends, and then they're shooting at the stormtroopers, and then you hear Moff Gideon says, "Release the black, the black stormtroopers, the blacks." So it was really funny. They had their own theme music, it was dubstep like Skrillex. They had their own. Remember, like the stormtroopers had their music from Return of the Jedi when when the Empire was coming in. They had their own. Well, these black soldiers, stormtroopers, they had their own music, and that's pretty funny. So they had these Skrillex on there as their like the thing. So then you see them like the Cara Dune and Boba Fett and Bo-Katan, and we're fighting the stormtroopers and that stuff, shooting at them and that stuff. And so then um Mando, he like crosses a path, where, and he tries where the dark stormtroopers were in there, and he tries to close the door so that stormtroopers don't get out. And one of them, he was able to get out, and the other stormtroopers, dark troopers, were stuck, because I don't know when they couldn't open the door, so they had kept pounding in the window and that stuff. And so Mando, was shooting at one of the dark troopers and trying to kill it, and you can see that when he was shooting at him, it just bounced right off, off this, the shield and stuff. So the black stormtrooper, he was like, this is bad handling, um, um, man handling Mando, and that stuff. So then he tries to use his flamethrower, and it's not doing anything. So then, like, later on, he has, how he has a Baskin armor, spear. He uses the spear, and he jams it right up in the Adam's apple, and it kills and disarms one of the stormtroopers. And so then like he was went he went by the door where the stormtroopers were. He like released their cargo thing, so that that the dark troopers fly out of there, into space, and then and that stuff. And then he got Mando gets into the part where Baby Yoda is being held. Then he goes and sees Moff Gideon is holding hostage to Baby Yoda when he's holding the black saber, and he goes that that he's like he really doesn't care about him. He got what he needed and that stuff, and then so if you, I know that the Baby Yoda you're attached to him, and you could have him back. And he goes, "Oh, I got what I wanted. I got his, his melanin cord and his blood, and study it, and So then, he goes, "Yeah, I'll give you I'll release some baby, but you have to, um, you know, leave my ship and that stuff." So then they agree. So then we see him, um, Moff Gideon. He goes in a fight duel with Mando with the dark saber, and they get in a fight, and with the and because the best with the lights, the black saber cannot pierce best skin armor, so it cannot do an effect to him. So then yeah, and they get he's and then they said um so then Mando who takes Moff Gideon, and he goes to the bridge where where Bo-Katan and Carol Dune and Phoenix were in there and that stuff, and she Bo-Katan sees Moff Gideon in handcuffs, and but she sees Mando holding the lightsaber, the blade, and he like wants to give it to the black saber to Bo-Katan, because whoever holds that blade holds control of Mandalorian, and gets on, and then you go, well, and then you see Moff Gideon says, "This is not the way. You cannot. The black saber works. The owner to get hold of, to hold the blade, or to have control of it, you have to win it. So ordinary to get the lightsaber, you have to win it in battle, because." And then Mando says, "I'm gonna give it to you," and she's like, Bo-Katan says, like, she has to do the Mandalorian. She cannot take this saber from him. So then um yeah, and then so then you see like Grant, Moff Gideon, he hides the gun in the back, with his cloak and that stuff, and he like shoots at Bo-Katan and Carol Dune and tries to kill him, but then like they didn't kill him, try to they did try to capture him, and Moff Gideon tries to commit suicide, So Cara Dune, um she hits him with his gun, so that he won't commit suicide, because she needs him alive and that stuff. So then um later on we see that there's these something coming to this, to the ship, and then they says, "What is it? Is it a life form? Or that's entering the ship?" And then she just says, "Yeah, it's not a life form that's laying in it." So it's the dark stormtroopers. How they get still able to fly. Well, they have how they have jetpacks, and they flew back to the ship, So then and then Moff Gideon was like, when they get into the doorway, because they were like pounding at the door because they couldn't get into there. He goes, when they get in here, that everybody's gonna be dead except for me and the baby Yoda and that stuff. And then like so then later on we see this X-wing coming into the rescue, and then you see Carol doing this. It's like, oh great, we were getting rescued, from a, from a X-wing fighter from somebody, and then we're like, so then we see that Baby Yoda is like chilling, like chilling, putting his hand on the monitor, and you see this guy, Jedi. He's using the force, and he's attacking these stormtroopers, and he's killing them like left and right, like that stuff. And as like Baby Yoda was using the force or something, like telling him, come to the base with the force, using the force. And which was, remember the scenery in Rogue One when Darth Vader was attacking the guards? They had the codes to destroy the Death Star, and he was just killing them like left and right. The guards. Well, the same thing happened with this Jedi. He was just killing them left and right, and you knew who it was because you could see his arm, and then you saw the lightsaber, and it was a green lightsaber, and you were like, we know who it is. It's Luke. It's Master Luke. So then, as I was just saying, he was fighting the stormtrooper guys like left and right, and then he got to the last one, the last stormtrooper. And he used the force, and he like crushed the Dark Trooper, with his hands, and the same thing like Darth Vader, so, and then Man Mando tells them to open the door, and then everybody's like, "Are you crazy? To let a Jedi come in here?" And so then the doors open, and then he goes, "Are you a Jedi?" And he goes, "Yes, I am." And then he took off his clone. It was because they didn't relieve his face, and but you could tell it was Mark Hamill. But you could tell it was a CGI because it didn't look like him. So they used the same way they used Leia in the last and the Force Awakening, or was it the Last Jedi? Force Awakening, with the CGI. Well, they used the same thing with they just had somebody and they enhanced Mark Hamill's face on there, but you could tell that it was not a real, like it was fake. That stuff. So you would think they would use a character that looked like exactly like Mark Hamill, but they didn't. So then but then yeah, um, Bando goes to Baby Yoda, and he knew what he had to do. He had to he fulfilled his fulfilled, do what he was meant to, to um find a Jedi and give him to Master Luke, to Jedi. And we saw the like the the saddest scene ever where we see Baby Yoda and Mando. He was like sad because it was like a father figure sitting by to his own child, and then you see Baby Yoda. He tries to grab his mask out, and then so the Mando, he takes off his helmet, and this is gonna be the first time that Baby Yoda ever seen his face, and this is like the second time where Mando takes off his helmet, and because he's not supposed to let anybody see his face in the public. So then Baby Yoda was memorizing that stuff, and he grabs his face when and it was a sad scene, and then so then like so then he goes, he's like giving it, telling Baby Yoda to go with Master Luke, and then later you see that Luke says, "Come here, little one," and he didn't like listening. He's still attached to Mando as foot. He doesn't want to go, and then here Luke says he's attached to you, and he wants your permission and that stuff. So then later on, you see R2D2, you know, he came back and he starts talking, in his droid, um, beeps and he knows, Baby Yoda, and because he probably must have known, Guru, from a long, long time ago, and they must have met, before, so then they were Baby Yoda, like I said, like, you could see his coos and that stuff, and he's like, and then you see R2D2, he was all excited, and you get a beeping, whistling, and that stuff, and so then he goes, Baby Yoda, he holds his hands up to Luke and says like to take him, and so then and then you know Luke, he takes Baby Yoda, and he goes to the Force. May the Force be with you. And then we see that he's taking Baby Yoda and R2D2, and they went to the elevator and they left, and you see them when they like it was like a sad scene. You see like you know the Mandalorian Mando, they were all sad because he was we're not gonna see Baby Yoda for I don't know a long time. So then we go to the end, and then start. They took the credit. Remember like in the Marvel movies, well, there's after the credits, there's always a scene. Well, yeah. Then so the credits roll by, and then we go see them going to the planet of Tatooine, and it was Tatooine because they had the moon to the two moons and stuff. So then we see Jabba's lair, and so then we see Fat Fatuna. I think it was his name, Fatuna. He was like and Jabba's sitting on Jabba's throne, and you could tell he was like he must have survived from the ship, because you remember in Return of the Jedi, you thought he died because the ship you know exploded and stuff, and everybody was killed. Well, he must have jumped from the ship or something like that and saved himself, and then he found his way back to Jabba's palace and that stuff. So then, but he was getting so he got fat, and so then somebody is coming to the lair, and it shoots the guards with the blasters, and then you hear from Tuna, he tells the guards and Hatis, the language of the Huts, he tells them to go and see what it is. So then the guy goes to the out there, and he gets shot and stuff, and then you see Fennec. She's like shooting all the guys, all of his bodyguards and that stuff, whatever, and then she shoots the um, the girl that was like chained to the dancer. Like, remember when Princess Leia was dancing for Jabba in Return of the Jedi, and well, there was this one girl that was like a slave, and she shoots the chain, and she tells the girl to leave, and then here comes Bubba Fett, and then he goes, Frazuna says, oh my god, Bubba, Bubba, I thought you died or something like that. There's all the rumors, and so and then he goes, then you see Boba Fett. He shoots Bell Fortuna right in the face, kills him off, and then he goes to the throne. He goes, and then he sits down, and then you see Fennec. She grabs like the same you know um some kind of drink, and she like that, and so you see Boba Fett is gonna be in control of Jabba's syndicate and that stuff. And then we see that this is book of Boba Fett coming soon, coming December 2021. So this is gonna be a story of Boba Fett, and so it ends right there. But man, the season did not. It, I mean, disappoint. It didn't disappoint all Star Wars fans because it was just like the wow factor. It brought all our favorite characters back to into their into the episode, and brought us back into. We saw Ahsoka Tano, we saw Boba Fett and stuff. So yeah, but he said that in 2021 is going to be the next time we have a Star Wars. But we're still going to be talking because now it's going to be WandaVision in January 15th. So watch out for that. I'm going to have breakdowns for WandaVision. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, we cannot wait to see what happens. The storyline. The Mando and the Mandalorian. We know that there's going to be Ahsoka 10. She has her own show, and then they're coming out with the new Rangers of the New Republic or something like that, and then they're coming out with this new movie, with Diego Luna and Rogue One. So watch out for that, and so then um yeah, so man, yeah. This is King Pookie for the breakdown for the Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 16, the breakout. Oh man, I love the Mandalorian. So this is King Pookie, and I'll see you guys in the next video.